Hey, welcome to Club Star People. Now, I need to be clear. This is not a show. This is a club, and the way that it is being navigated, or maybe I should say who I am. My name is Evan McKee. You see it right there, McKee, founder of Starfolk University, and also founder of Club Star People. And I am joined right now with Dr. Erica Wilkins, who is a therapist, coach, and traveler. And she frequents Mexico and Colombia. And, Erica and I are longtime friends. We have literally grown up together. Mm-hmm. And so when I told her about Club Star People and I asked her if she was interested to come on, because Club Star People, for those of you who are new, we are a fitness, travel, language, and travel club. So it could, and not necessarily in that order, but the idea is that we are grown people. We are grown people doing grown things who are also interested in learning new things and exploring the world and exploring ourselves and making sure that as we navigate, our big ages, that we are doing that with grace and gorgeousness and fabulosity, dare we say, and also being willing to connect with each other. And so Club Star People, again, it is not a show. I am a show host, but this is not what this is for. Spirit kind of directed me to broadcast wide to see where our star people are. And then, because we're building community, even during these extraordinary, redonkulous times, we are building community. We are doing what Black people and melanated people all over the world know how to do. Not only survive, but thrive. And so I don't know the particulars of what Spirit is wanting with this experience, but I'm trusting the process. Spirit said start a club, so I started a club. I couldn't find a Spanish club. I couldn't find grown people who wanted to practice Spanish. I couldn't find grown people who wanted to stay in shape. I couldn't find grown people who wanted to learn new language. So Spirit said make it, and I did. So we're in our third week, 11 members strong, and any and everything that I have said sounds like it's interesting to you. If you are we welcome all melanations, but our focus is on the Afro-Latinidad for our 2025-26 season. Mm-hmm. So people who are interested in learning about the Afro-Latinidad, Caribbean, Spanish-speaking cultural perspective, Club Star People might be for you. You can go to patreon.com/EvanMcKee to learn more. So what we did in our last Spanish club meeting, and I should also say we are here from 6 to 8. What we did in our other Spanish club meeting last week was we practiced Spanish a little bit. My friend D. Ray, who was also a founding member, he and I practiced through the Pimsleur program, and we're going to do fun things. That's the idea. It's fun things. It's out of your daily grind. It's something fun to do. We are utilizing the technology that we have access to, and we're going to build. So what I wanted to do for this week, though, as I promised, was to bring people in who are world travelers, bring people in who specifically world travelers. Either Dunbar Gibson is coming later on at 7:00, and he is a world traveler, and he actually speaks Spanish. So we're going to talk about what it means to be a melanated person in the world, and talk about, and Dr. Erica is a therapist too, so we can talk also about how do you navigate being someplace different than where you started. We just want to talk about some things. So we're not doing it exactly the same every single week. I do actually have an agenda that I'm going to pull up right now because this is a club. I'm going to pull up the agenda. Oh, wait, I can't find my agenda. That's not it. Oh, it's not up here. I don't remember how I did it last week. I don't remember how I did it. Oh, here we go. Anyway, so like I said, this ain't no show. Everybody calm down. Just give me my time. Oh, it is. I know how to do things.
Mm-hmm.
So this is our agenda. And maybe I don't want you to see my whole tabs and all of that stuff. Look at me. So can you see it?
Yes.
So I said, welcome, all the things. We're going to review what Club Star People is. You know our mission. I introduced Dr. Erica Wilkins. How you doing, Dr. Erica Wilkins?
Fantástico. Muy bueno.
Nice. Okay, so I already told you membership. Oh, this is what I want to tell you. I'm gonna take this off. How do I get out? Escape. We have a trip, which we are calling our class trip. Calling it our class trip. We have a trip planned for December. Our very first. It's not. I don't know if it's going to be our first trip, but I know this is going to be the bigger trip, where we are going to Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. We have settled on that it's going to be a cruise. I know. Reel it in. This is a very sexy cruise. This is not a boo-boo cruise. The brand that we have already started a relationship with is adult only. They're very sexy. And when I say sexy, they're sexy. You probably know who I'm talking about, but I'm not going to mention it until we get all the particulars together. And it's all inclusive. And I mean, all inclusive, even your Wi-Fi. Because I went on a cruise and they nickel and dimed you. It's none of those things. And it's a very, very sexy brand, and they are above and beyond. They don't do any of the things that the brands that you might be thinking of do. They don't do any of that. Okay. And they're not a US based company. So you also don't have to worry about whatever the effery that's going on. You don't have to worry about that. So these are good things. These are good things.
Awesome.
And it's a 7-day adventure that will be stopping off in Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. So we have plenty of time to continue to practice our Spanish so that we can be confident for this class trip that we know is going to be happening in December. I would like for us to do other things before then, but you know that December is happening. And I know that in an earlier conversation, we said we were thinking about March or April, but because this is a new club, I wanted to give us time to build our membership so that all the people who want to come, we're all kind of in the same place. So that's what we're doing. So we know that December is happening, and it gives you time to get your coin together and whatever price it is. I'm not doing this to make money. This is not one of those. It's not a retreat. This is a class trip for us to all go and practice our Spanish and be in community. And the more the merrier. So we have more than a year to work that out. So, so saying that, Dr. Erica, why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey? You spent some time in Mexico. You've spent some time in Colombia. You travel often, and just can you give us some insight about what it's like for you as a global traveler?
Yeah, you and I have not talked much about this. It's a whole part of me, and you look more and more like your mama every time I see you.
Girl, I hope that's a good thing.
It is. I'm like, hi. So I think that I have been a traveler since I was a kid. My father, his job actually had him traveling and supervising groups in Malaysia and Japan. And he would come back and tell me about all of his travels around the world, not knowing that he was planting seeds. And he really planted seeds when my parents went to Paris on a business trip. And I remember them saying, "You would love Paris." And they didn't know that I was like, as soon as I can, I'm gonna go to Paris. And so when I was a year out of college, I had worked for a temp agency that relocated to Colorado somewhere, and they gave us packages to stay for 6 months until they left. And so I said, at the end of the 6 months, I'm taking this money and going to Paris.
Okay.
So that was my Sabrina coming of age trip.
Okay.
That was I say it was the best thing I did for my adulthood, was I went to Paris by myself for 2 weeks and stayed in a hostel.
In a hostel?
Girl,
I hope that movie hadn't come out yet.
No. Yeah. And the parents were like, you never go in after some movie. Again. I'm like, I already been here and there and everywhere. And so for me, I always say that was the best thing I did for my adulthood. That was the best thing that I could have done for my womanhood, because it's like when you can be in Paris for 2 weeks by yourself, eating by yourself, making friends by yourself, navigating language. I didn't know a lick of French, you know, and it prepared me for like, I can do many things as a woman in global streets, Dolo.
Wow. Yeah. So how did you navigate? And I've been to Paris, and I know that they're nice to pretty people. I'm gonna say that, but they ain't nice to everybody. Do you know what I mean? So how did you navigate? You're a pretty person, so I know they were nice.
Girl. I was like, I got no problem. But
you know what I mean? They're very, I have a background in French. So I didn't have an issue that much. My sister and I went together. It's different. Book learning French and the way people actually speak are different.
Yeah.
It's like I did my best. I was not burning down the world with my French speaking, but do you know what I mean? Like I felt, I'm not even say confident. I know what you mean about navigating, but how did you navigate by yourself?
Yeah, you know what? I did a lot of research just with people that I knew that had been to Paris before I went. And what I'm going to say connects to like navigating Spanish speaking countries as well. I was just in Mexico City a few weeks ago, and like these folks from Tijuana were like, exactly. What I found, or what a friend told me before I went to Paris, was Parisians are not actually rude.
Gotcha.
Americans have terrible manners.
I feel like we need to rewind that and say it back. It's not that Parisians are rude. It's that Americans have no manners.
There you go. There you go. And so she was like, excuse me, please, thank you. And like even a fumbly attempt at French will get many doors opened for you. And I found that also to be the case in Spanish speaking countries. Is that, you know, I remember eating a brunch near the Picasso Gallery in Paris. And like me stumbling and fumbling through French, and this is before apps, girl, aging myself. And so I was really struggling, but I was trying, and I was had my best manners. And the server said, "Do you want an English menu?" And I said it in English.
That's right.
And they were very accommodating. And then there were these like loud Americans at a table next to me, not attempting to speak French. The same server said, "Je ne comprends." Like they just, I don't understand.
I love whoever it was. I love them. Yes. That's
And so that's the gag of a lot of these streets, is that like, you know, global domination. A lot of folks do speak English. And the question is though, like, will we show up humbly in an attempt? And that's what the folks from Tijuana were saying. They have jobs in the US, but live in Tijuana. And because they heard me like trying to speak Spanish in Mexico City, they spoke in fluent English with me we ate family style at a restaurant.
That's nice.
And they were like, you know what? They were like, your Spanish is pretty good. I was like, no, it's not. And they were like, but you're trying. And they were so floored to see an American actually trying. And so that's like the first thing that I would say to your folks is to trying will go along. It's not about perfection. You know, it takes years to be fluent in another language. And that was something that a friend in Mexico City told me once. She said, "How long did it take you to learn how to speak English?"
Your whole life.
Yeah. But I would say, you know what? 3, 4, we were pretty fluent. You know, maybe not artistic with it, but we were pretty fluent.
But we were also immersed, and everybody was doing
exactly. So she was like, "Give yourself grace. You know, when you're trying to learn another language, give yourself grace, and don't be thinking that it needs to be overnight."
Yeah, that's a good point, because the Pimsleur program that I'm actually using is essentially a 5-month program. It doesn't say it that way, but it's 30 minutes a day. But the idea is that in 5 months' time, we're not going to be fluent.
Yep.
We'll be confident in whatever the background is, but the fluency comes from just like anything else, spiritual practice, whatever it is, it comes from doing it, from embodying it. And I think that's the energy I'm shifting from. We're learning Spanish in 5 months, and then we're traveling. It's more like, if we're dedicated to knowing this, if we're dedicated to being multilingual, then the practice is one thing, intellectually knowing something, and then going to the places and embodying that.
That's right. That's right.
What do you think about, since right now you're really in the Spanish speaking places, and I love that idea that they offer grace when you are with it. Like, and I don't even know if it's the word humble, but it's like reverence, respect for you're someplace else. That I don't know who taught Americans to be this way. I don't know where that came from. It's a uniquely Caucasic idea.
That's the word.
It is. And I know that everybody who is unmelanated is not Caucasic, but I think that our reputation as Americans precedes us because of these people who say, I got a little money, I'm traveling places, now cater to me.
Yep.
And I think that one thing that from the melanated people I don't know how everybody is when they travel, but for the most part, we respect each other. You know what I mean? I'm somewhere new. I don't know you. You don't know me. I'm going to do my best to be reverent that I'm someplace new and I don't know you and you don't know me, but I want to get to know you. So is that the energy we want to have as we are traveling to Spanish speaking places?
Yeah, I'm thinking about home training. That's the first thing that comes to mind. You know, like when you would go visit people's houses when you were a kid, and your parents would be like, don't do this, don't do that, we're never gonna be invited back again. And as we travel, like as you enter the country, what are the things that you would want to do as a visitor, realizing that you are not a visitor, that you are not gifting them with your presence,
that part,
that you are a visitor, and like to leave the place as unscathed as possible, either by your behaviors or the things that you say, like to not be colonizers. You know, like Black folks, that's the thing, man. Like really being able to understand that as Black Americans, we are Black, and I'm not sure where folks are from in the diaspora in your audience, but like we also are like American, and it means something in how we're perceived in the world.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of like what I found is also like being able to study myself in the midst of Black folks, Afro-Latinos, Afro-Mex. I've known that more Afro-Latinos in Colombia. Just study myself and not have an expectation of the African-American.
Let's unpack that a little bit.
Yeah. Because I'm the type, and you and I are probably similar to this. I see Black people, I'm like, hi, hello.
And they're like,
Now, I'll still say 9 out of 10 times I'm still going to do that because I've had amazing experiences. I met one of Meg Thee Stallion's backup dancers and broke bread with her and her mom just because I was like, hey, kinfolk,
Oh yeah.
And they were like, well, hello, and da 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 da, and let's have lunch, and just yeah.
We don't do that here. I would love to be able to see people out and be like, hey, kinfolk, and let's have lunch. Most people don't do that in America.
Yeah, I mean, well, for me, and this was in Mexico City. They're from LA.
Okay, gotcha.
Actually New York, LA. And for me, it's more so like when you're in a space where there aren't that many Black folks. Now, DR, I imagine you're going to see a fair amount of Black folks. Puerto Rico, melanated folks, but Mexico City, girl, not so much. So it's like, hey, where I often visit in Colombia, which is Medellin, there aren't as many Afro-Latino folks just, woven throughout. And so, when you're in those spaces where there's very few Black people in the States, I say hi,
This is interesting. So the priority isn't necessarily to be fluent in Spanish, but to be confident in Spanish. So the priority is there for that. But would you say that learning the culture is actually a bigger priority, like being in the mix and being curious?
100%. Learning the culture, availing yourself to the culture, like not being in a space of, well, in Philly, they do it like this. And where can I get the, that's like this?
Here.
Like really availing yourself to the culture. And even with the language piece, like I have decided words and broadening my vocabulary is more important than the grammar.
Okay.
Because like if you have the words, people are gonna know that you're not
right.
Right. And so even if you don't have the words, the grammar, people will be like, okay, like you have the words, I can understand what you're saying. So for me, I used to use the apps a lot, and was really committed to daily learning. And then I took Spanish in high school.
Oh,
and,
yeah?
Yeah.
And it didn't help you at all?
I did horribly. And so, like the thing is, so it's like I'm in this weird in-between stage where I'm not really a beginner, but I'm not super advanced. And I was finding that the apps were just like way too rudimentary for me. And so instead, and I recommend this for everybody, every time you're watching a movie, Netflix, a TV show, put the Spanish subtitles on, or play the audio in Spanish and read the English.
Okay.
At any time. There's a way through osmosis, like just being that's
in there.
As close as you'll get to immersion.
And I've heard, I think my friend Boomy said that too. But that's how a lot of people who are learning English learn English. Just by watching TV. So that's stuff that we can do now as you practicing on whatever the apps are that you're going to do. Like I said, I use Pimsleur, and it's been very helpful. And because I know disculpe, señorita. French is my background, so I did not realize how much French is in there. So my accent is like, I'll say things like the rolling of the R's, like my mouth is not yet decided it can know Spanish. Like my mouth is still French, and the accent, I'll be like, disculpe, and that's not how you say it, sis.
Actually, disculpe, you're doing all right with disculpe. Yeah, that's a good one.
Did I say that for excuse me? Did I say that?
Yeah, disculpe. Permiso is another. Permiso.
Oh yeah, like that's like
permission. Yeah.
Permiso.
A good show that I just binged in Spanish was La Reina del Sur, the Queen of the South.
The Queen of the South. It's on Netflix.
And it's like 4 seasons with 30 episodes each season, and it's a telenovela that just had me hooked. And so my neighbors,
Is it a period piece?
What'd you say?
Is it a period? What is the?
No, it's basically about a woman in Mexico who like goes from being the girlfriend of a drug hustler to like running the whole thing.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. And so when people in Colombia, I'd be like, oh yeah, I've been working on my Spanish. I've been watching a lot of La Reina del Sur, and they'd be cracking up. I said, I'm learning words like asesina and tortura, so assassin and torture and pistola.
And they're like,
and they were cracking up. Yeah, but I think also, again, the effort of like, I'm like literally trying, when I can to immerse myself.
Yeah. So this whole thing started because, well, it started for lots of reasons. I kind of gave you the stars notes of my reasoning behind it, but it was also kind of inspired by, I had already been planning on learning Spanish because my first instinct was, I'm sick of this shit. I'm moving to Mexico. That's what I said. I'm moving to Mexico. And I was like, well, the first thing about that energy is, well, what do you know about Mexico? What do you know about the language and all that stuff? Like, I didn't say I'm moving to Paris. I said I'm moving to Mexico. And because it was never on my radar, but I'm looking, like, I'm a farmer, gardener. So I'm looking for places that have land, that kind of thing. So my energy was, well, let me learn Spanish. So I switched from French to Spanish. And then Bad Bunny came out and said he was doing the Super Bowl. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then he got on Saturday Night Live and he was like, he said a whole thing in Spanish. He said, you don't know what I said? You got 4 months to learn. And so it all felt very aligned for the moment. And then also the energy around, criminalizing Spanish speakers in this country specifically. And so now the energy is like, well, we all learn in Spanish. And so then it just kept expanding as we as Gen X folk. I feel like this is our time. Anytime we are uniquely qualified to navigate these confusing and confounding times and kind of lead the charge of what's possible for us. And I feel like just being willing, just like you said, you are confirming the energy of willingness, being willing to do new things, to try new things, to explore new things. And there's no telling where it can take us. It's just the energy of willingness. And so I'm wondering, as a therapist, is this the path forward? You're talking about a kind and just society that works for everyone, but it's not limited to where we are.
Is leaving the path forward? Is that what you mean?
No, more like being willing to explore how you feel about where you are and recognize you're not a tree. Do you get what I mean? Like, I feel like so many of us, like the criminalization of Spanish speaking people, that's just a fear of learning something new. Because boo, if you're not mad that they speak Spanish, you're mad that you don't understand Spanish, which is something you can do something about. And that is not limited to any group of people. There are people that feel away when somebody is not speaking a language they understand, because you're talking about me or whatever the case. But you can learn a language. That's within your control. You can, if you don't like where you live, you can move. Now, is it going to be like, we're not all whoever, like there is a process, but you can make a decision and choose to not be where you are. Do you feel what I mean? So I'm just wondering about that energy of changing what you can change and being empowered by that.
Yeah.
And the path forward being, I have options. So even me, I don't know if I'm moving to Mexico, but it sparked this other thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think that is a complex question, because certainly like the ability to even think and or leave is a privilege.
Yes.
ability that not everyone has. And then I would go as far as to say, not everyone should.
Yep, I agree.
And I'm specifically like, but if I talk specifically to Black folks, what I would say, recognizing this privileged stance, is I would remind all of us, because I had megaphones, all Black people, I would remind all of us that being nomads is in our ancestral DNA.
And explain more about that. What do you mean by that? Being nomads is in our ancestral DNA.
Yeah. If we think about who our people were, and somebody in South Africa schooled me about this as well. I was on a solo trip. I'd be out here just traveling and talking to people.
I love that for you. I'm a little bit jealous. I'm a little bit jealous because every place don't take cats.
We can talk about that as well. Because I got a little dog. And so I was just getting some clothes made in South Africa and ended up in a type of cipher with this South African woman for like 2 hours in the middle of the store.
Yeah.
She resided in Sweden or something, but she's from South Africa and visiting family there. And girl, she schooled me on some stuff. And one of the things that she schooled me on was, who drew all those lines in the maps?
That part.
She said, that wasn't us. We didn't draw all these lines chopping up Africa. She said, we are a nomadic people. So when we say we're from this country or that country, our people, she said, no, we just followed where we could survive around the continent. And so if we even date back to Africa, that's who our people were back to Africa. If we bring it to slavery, if we bring it to Reconstruction, if we, it has always been part of our culture as Africans to like live where we can best survive. Mm-hmm. And I think something jacked us up during integration, where we started feeling more planted. Mm-hmm. That's past Great Migration, right? That's past, okay, we can move from the South. And I think that something happened where we started adopting some of the norms of our European counterparts and like have them, like if I talk to some Black folks, they have this, my ancestors built this country. Mm-hmm. I'm not going anywhere. Like mm-hmm. this, like, mm-hmm. flag in the sand. I thought they did the flag in the sand. And that's never been who our people are. And so I just would encourage Black folks everywhere to think about the fact and to reflect on the fact that literally part of what has enabled them to be sitting, whoever they are, sitting where they are today, was about like moving as connected to survival. Mm-hmm. And each individual, where you are located today, maybe where you feel beholden to today, is that a real thing? Mm-hmm. And is that where you can best survive for real?
That's a very good point. And I think I was speaking for myself, because we talked about my cat earlier, I think a lot of what keeps us in a place is navigating our stuff. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And not to say that my baby kitty is stuff, but it's like, mm-hmm. When you talk about building roots, when you talk about when you travel light, you don't have a lot of stuff that you have to worry about leaving behind, because mm-hmm. and in modern societies, we're very stuff driven. We have stuff, mm-hmm. But there's also nostalgia in that stuff. Some of my stuff is family heirlooms, and it's what am I willing to take with me? What am I willing to leave behind? So I think these things are also what keep us in the place that we're in, because it's like it anchors us to a sense of having roots there.
And are those real roots?
That's a very good point.
Of course, a cat is that's family. Mm-hmm. You know, and there are ways, like I said, I travel with my little 12-pound dog.
Do
And-
you?
Yeah. Yeah. And I had to learn early on that, like, before deciding where to travel, find out like what the importation rules are. So, like, to go to South Africa with the dog, I did not go with her when I've been there. It is a minimum of $5,000 for her alone. I was like, yeah, South Africa will never see us together.
Not together. Not together. South Africa won't meet us.
No, but like Mexico is pretty easy. You know, there's a reason why I often visit Mexico and Colombia, is that it's pretty easy to bring pets in and out of those countries.
But this is really good information, because a lot of people don't think in terms of my pet.
Yep.
And then you also have to think about boarding, and if you're not going to travel with them, there's an extra layer. But that's what we do as adults. That's what we do as grown people, is that we navigate the extra layer.
That's right.
You wouldn't leave your child at home.
There you go.
Maybe some people, but I would not. Okay, this is good information. Okay, so there really is not a language barrier in the way that I was envisioning it. You can travel with your pet. If you're talking about moving, you have to decide what you're considering your roots, and if you are, what do you do about family? Like when you are nomading it, but your family is staying somewhere else.
I mean, you know, we've been doing this for a long time. Like I said, fresh out of college, I was like, all right, y'all, bye. And so they know who their family member is now. Your question, though, for these current wild times that we are living in, has meant very real conversations with family members, like very, very real. Like, this is what I'm doing. And, you know, even, you know, recently, I don't know if you've been following, but oh boy, the occupant of the White House has been popping off at the president of Colombia. And so, you know, as parents of our generation,
wild times. And this is what, I don't know if this is a conversation for on this, or I think it might be off. I think this might be an off.
Okay.
I'll have to call you later on this one.
I got you, girl. I got you.
Because I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
Because I want to talk about the criminally insane, but that's not what Club Star people are. So do you have a plan for yourself? Do you have a plan for wherever you gonna land, for where your family would your family come to where you are? Is that what you were talking about?
So this is the therapist part of me that will give you this answer, which is, you can't tell other grown adults what choices to make. And as an adult, once you realize that, your life can become a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
And as hard as it can be to be like, wait, why are you, but you could, and you can, but their choice is still to stay on the plantation.
Wait, hold on. It's funny that you said that. I'm about to put this on here.
Okay.
Darnell commented, "Planet like plantation."
Just like a plantation.
I want to. He said this other thing. He said, "If the traveler immerses in the culture we travel to, unlike the tourist that looks to do America."
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. That's what I learned about myself in that first trip to Paris was, oh, I'm not the person that's running here and there taking pictures with this. It was, I just want to sit on a sidewalk and sip a rosé and just try to blend.
Yeah.
And learn from blending.
Yes, I agree. Although I did go to the Louvre.
Sure, of course you go. you know.
And I like architecture. Like I am a design and architecture girly in my soul. So I love taking pictures. Like I take of my block, I take pictures of random things that seem random to me.
Mm.
I take a picture of nature, of like I'm just fascinated with the minds of people. So have you ever been any place in your travels where the architecture just took your breath away?
Yes, the first place, as soon as you said architecture, because I'm an architecture buff as well. I'm always like looking up, like just, or looking at doors or like some random.
Yes.
But like for me, the most magic, like the architecturally magical place I've ever been to was Barcelona.
Oh yeah.
I mean, so I think
Barcelona, is Barcelona have all the Moorish, or is that I think that's someplace different.
so Barcelona, I'm gonna butcher his name. An architect named Gaudi, Gaudi, influenced a lot of the Barcelona architecture. And so the best way that I can describe it is that think curved and lots of like stained glass and color. So like mind blowing in terms of, especially like traveling in Europe and everything's real straight.
Yes.
You know, it's like all of this is just like magical. It feels like a fairy tale.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah.
Barcelona's on the thing.
Yes.
Okay. Because I really was not thinking in terms of European Spanish speaking places. I was really thinking about literally the Afro-Latinidad diaspora. I was thinking of the Caribbean and that kind of stuff. But the more I'm thinking, it's like, because when I learned up, and I can't remember the name of it, I know that they, I can't remember what part of Spain it is, but it's very more Moorish. The architecture is Moorish influence. And there's a famous castle there. And I was just thinking in terms of Black people have, or African people have, melanated people have influenced literally everything. And I don't want to limit myself to see what beauty and wonder we have created in all the places we've been.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I just wish everybody would make themselves, if they're able to, available to the world. Because like, that's when you'll learn how much we've been lied to and like how to draw your own conclusions. You know, it's like, I remember that has been the biggest thing that I've learned in my travels. It's like, we're lied to. We are lied to. You know, people definitely have ideas of what Mexico is like or what Colombia is like. And, you know, friends saying, girl, I don't know, the sex trafficking down there, you're going to be snatched up in the cartel. And girl.
Not even a little bit.
I mean, so in Medellin, what I will say is whatever you want is available. And so, you know, there is a disproportionate amount of passport bros / sex pats running around these streets. Part of it is because prostitution is legal in Colombia. So women or men, if your partner says they going to Colombia,
I feel like Thailand is the same way. Like I understand what's going on in Thailand.
Same in Colombia. And so, you know, if you want like drugs, drogas, prostituta, if you into all of that, you know, that's available. And there's also this whole vivid, developed, beautiful, like Medellin is known as the city of eternal spring. So year round, it's spring weather. It's 70s, there's flowers blooming, there's palm trees. You know, it's like a jungle city in the mountains.
That's amazing.
You know,
do you like avocados?
Yeah.
Where is the best place in your travels that you've had, like the best avocados you had in your
Yeah, I would give it to Colombia. You know, that because of the climate here, it's so easy to grow super fresh everything. So like the coffee here, like you can't really find flavored creamer down here.
Because you don't need it.
Right.
The coffee is like, I'm not a coffee person, but would I like coffee if I went to Colombia? Would I be like it? I'm thinking about Panama. Like everything that you're saying, we did go on a trip to Panama. I wear my Panama hat.
Nice. Okay.
And that same energy that you're talking about, people were talking about Panama. Oh, you sure you want to go to Panama? Oh, you're gonna da. And it was nothing like that.
Right.
It was nothing like that. It was like, when I tell you, and people, I don't think people truly understand until they go to places that this country has deemed third world, and see how it's just night and day it is. Like the roads, we were traveling to the historic Panama City. Where we were staying was kind of in not the suburbs, it was kind of where the water is.
Mm-hmm.
But along this road, there was rest stops like every 5 minutes. Like you couldn't go but a few blocks driving and there'd be a rest stop that was like, it's like think of a McDonald's. It was not a McDonald's, but it was some mom and pop shop that they cook a full meal, that they had the seats on the inside for people and their kids to sit and actually have their meal. Do you know what I mean? And then if you went into the bathroom, it wasn't like here. Like the bathrooms are suspect. The bathrooms were not. It was like you could eat food off of the floor in those bathrooms. Like it's so crazy clean.
Yep.
And it's almost like these people care about their people. It's almost like, and every 5 minutes there was a soccer court. Football. Every 5 minutes there was something like, I don't know if it was tennis or basketball, whatever it was. It's like you could not drive down a major highway and not be able to stop and play basketball, football, or whatever it was. Like we doing it wrong.
100%. That's the lies. And what you're making me think of is like the idea of Wakanda. And you think of like Wakanda is in this one, like, and it's actually the secret that I think the States doesn't want us to know is that it's a whole bunch of Wakanda villages out in this world. And they don't want us to know about it. They live in good. Like they live in really well, just super posh, or super happy or super fulfilled. And I think that part of what a lot of folks in the States don't realize is that like people are looking at the States increasingly so. Like
the hood.
Yeah.
The hood.
Like, ooh, y'all the ghetto. I feel bad for y'all. And so it's just, I mean, to me, it's similar to the lies being told about Blackness, where it's like we are some of the most humane people on this earth, but the way that like, the puzzle pieces have been like switched around to make it seem like we're the ones.
No, 1,000. I watched this video of this police officer. I want to say, I don't remember where it was, and I'm just going to give you a general because I can't remember. But it was somebody. My phone keeps ringing. This police officer had crashed, and that there was a fire starting around where his car was, and a group of Black folk. Is there somebody in there? Is there somebody in the car? They took this police officer out of the car and moved him far away. No, the thing might blow up, and say that. And if you think about the juxtaposition of that, how particularly in this country, the police are an extension, can be and have been an extension of the KKK, that they're targeting Black, brown, and indigenous people, anybody melanated. And these people who have been targeted thought so much about this person's humanity, regardless of who he was, to pull him out and save his life.
Yep.
It's insanity.
Yep. 100%. And this is tagging on to what you just said, but a little bit off topic that I think might be valuable for your listeners, which is like to be Black American and experience of the police in different countries is wild.
It's different.
Wild. Like, I remember in Colombia needing instructions, trying to meet up with friends or people that I had met for the evening, and being like in Medellin's version of the Las Vegas Strip and being like, oh, I gotta figure out how to get to my peoples.
Mhm.
And walking up to the police and them literally walking me to the lounge that I was meeting my friends at. I mean, right. Like, doesn't that just strike a chord? Like, what? Police are there to help?
Child. Right. It just goes to show you where police and how police are set up in the different countries and what they're set up for. We know what they're set up for based on what they are willing to do here.
Yeah.
That's the culture of it here versus other places. That's interesting. And that's
Yeah.
the other thing I must say is how I feel, how my nervous system feels. When I was in Panama, I didn't even realize how I'm built in this country. It's just the baseline.
Yep.
Until I got there and I didn't feel that.
Yep. 100%. You're right. That's something I noticed back when I went to Paris, like my femininity, like just my voice sounding softer and higher, like this softening once I'm outside of the American context. I really think that's I really think that's a large part of what has fueled my travels. Is this like kind of hardening that I feel like I have to do in the United States, that when I'm not on US soil, I don't feel like I have to do as much. But literally whenever I fly, or like as I'm flying back into the States, I start to feel like, okay, it's almost like Hulk up, like, get ready.
You're armoring up energetically. Yeah. That is big. So everything that you are saying, there are two things, and these things can be true at the same time. But the first aspect of it is, why would I want to be someplace where I feel like that? That's the one part. But then the second part is, how do we make this place that we can make anything that we want more like that? But before we can get to that, I feel like we have to strengthen ourselves. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like the first step is to be the global traveler, is to see all the different ways that living is possible. Then we can bring that energy back if we want to.
That's right. That's right. If we want to, because, Harriet up north to say, yeah, I'm gonna learn from the stuff up north and bring it back.
She's like, y'all got that. Enjoy.
Get on board or get left.
And you're right. She returned to collect her people, and she left that stuff right where it was. She's like, y'all got this. Enjoy. Yep. Be blessed.
That's why I think really something about integration has made us tied to things that maybe don't serve us, not all of them. And that like some deep consideration should be given to like the stuff that we're bound to.
Yeah. And then also I keep thinking about the prodigal daughter. I know that there's a story called The Prodigal Son, but I think of the prodigal daughter, that the idea is that we have been here and we have learned what it could be. And what if we took what we have and lent it to places that actually respect, revere, and could use it?
There we go.
And build up places that could use what we have.
Yeah, something that I'm starting to get into very, very recently is like volunteering when I'm in places. And, you know, not anything significant. Like, so recently, like the Colombian version of the Boys and Girls Club with kids that are homeless, and just playing with them, you know, and just showing up. It's like not using any of my training and this, it's just
being someone that shows up, you know? And so like, how can we, like, I guess I would want to see that more from Black travelers, like what might volunteerism, I think is called. Like, what are ways?
Tourism.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, that's brilliant. And you know, I talk a lot about what Club Star people can be, and you know, the initial idea is we're a travel, language, and fitness club, and I say it different every time I say it. It'll coagulate when it's ready.
Mhm.
But that's important. I think that's important for me, just from a consciousness standpoint of what am I bringing, what am I leaving, what, you know, and it's I think for a lot of us, what tourists do versus what travelers do is what travelers do is find a way to be a part of what's already there. And I think that's an important component. When I'm traveling someplace, what am I bringing? And what can I leave versus show me what you're going to do for me.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And what do I need to check?
And what do I need to check?
You know, because for me, at the end of the when I volunteered with the kids, there was a big rainstorm that came through. And so the day ended quickly, and the kids went where they went. I think a shelter, and it made me think more about like the warm water shower that I took that night, you know, and the food, you know, it just made me check some stuff that needed to be checked.
And it makes you more human.
Yep. I hope so. I hope so.
It makes you more human. And I'm thinking, I think that's what the disconnect is. I feel like Americans specifically struggle with their humanity a lot because there aren't a lot of, we are able to compartmentalize things. Like I will never forget as long as I live. One time I was in LA with my sister, and I don't know if you've been to LA recently. This was a couple years ago, but we were literally walking over unhoused people. Do you know what I mean? And it was devastating. So many people who had stuff going on, and they would walk in stores, they would follow you, and I'm just and yes, absolutely, it is uncomfortable. But these are also people who have been left to the wayside and not been supported, and so that's what happens. When you don't take care of each other, that's what happens.
That's right.
So it's like I keep thinking about I will never forget that. I think I took a picture of it. There was it was kind of an outdoor cafe, and these people are sipping their whatever, and there was a man just laying on the street right next to it, and it was just like, we got to do better. And so can we use our privilege as travelers to improve the experience for people?
Yeah. I think that like loops back to your initial question when you were like, is part of the cure to what's going on globally for us to travel more and get out more. And I think that maybe it's like figuring out the ways to be more human in this world, to explore the world, and also to like, I'm going to keep saying humility, to humbly be checking like how you've been humaning in the world, you know, to constantly be like, I recommend journaling, you know, like, cause some people need that physical thing, you know, but just to be pondering. Like a lot of times I think, okay, this is similar to that. Like, and I think about, why am I categorizing things? Like, why am I always in my head, like trying to categorize, oh, okay, so Éxito in Medellin is similar to Walmart in, right? And kind of thinking about just the psychological colonization in my brain.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I get it. I get what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Just letting it be what it is versus trying to make it what it's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, which is the challenge. Because when you're trying to explain to somebody your experience, you're trying to meet them what you think they'll understand. And what And that's a neat trick, I believe. But I think I get what you're saying, where it also diminishes what the thing is.
Exactly. I will say with one exception though, because every so often I've been in these spaces, like in Black expat or Black immigrant spaces, was checked by that. I love that conversation with that couple from Tijuana, because I mentioned expats and the husband said, I don't like that. I said, okay, yeah, tell me. It's like, why do Americans get to call themselves expats and everybody else is an immigrant? I was like, touche. Yeah, he's right. And so, you know, when in these spaces, when people have, like, for Black travelers, like a soul food anything, that's why I'm be like, look, don't put the name soul food on it, because then it's got to be greens that taste like American greens. Like, call it something else, you know, or macaroni and cheese. It's got to taste. There's a specific taste.
Call it something. You got cheese and noodles.
Right. There are some things that are uniquely African American.
Yeah, no, and that's important too. Mm-hmm. So, Dr. Erica,
yes, ma'am.
How do we reach you? Like, if somebody wants to reach out to you about this, first of all, thank you, and second of all, thank you, and third and fourth of all, thank you. It looks like Dr. Wilkins, lmft@gmail.com. She is a whole therapist, but she's also a coach and she's a traveler. And this has been so nourishing. I'm so grateful that I got to talk to you about your journey and your travels. And you're just such an awesome human. Thank you for being here. I am going to, we don't have breaks. This is not a show. I keep trying to, this is not a show. This is a club. But Dr. Erica, I'm going to do something. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something. Oh, I have a video I can play. Oh, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play a video that talks a little bit about Puerto Rico and how Puerto Ricans have to experience power outages because of the company that inserted themselves on the island. That's what I'm going to do. That's going to be our break. Thank you for coming to Club Star People, Dr. Erica.
Thanks for having me. Anytime.
Bye. Thank you. Hold on. Hold your mule. We're going to invite Espanol onto the... We're going to invite Espanol onto... in a moment.
I just want to spread the information that you guys have a colony over here, a territory that it's literally without electricity, like a lot of the time. And Puerto Ricans pay one of the highest taxes in the whole U.S. And don't get me started on their minimum wage, because it is insane. Being a Puerto Rican is really fun, and it's the best thing in the world. And when I'm bored again, please God, make me Puerto Rican. But we live in resistance. We live in joy. And we live fighting, because every day is a damn hustle. I should be able to come home and have fun and work from here, because I have the right to do so. I have the right to be here. I have the right to have fun where I grew up in, being a U.S. territory. So when you see a Puerto Rican friend, give them a hug. If you see a Puerto Rican friend, blow them a kiss. Because you know what? They need it, baby. They need it. Ciao. This is day number 4 without electricity at my grandma's house in Puerto Rico. And I'm doing this video in English because this video is not for the Puerto Ricans. They can stay. They are more than welcome. But this video is for the people that are not Puerto Ricans, because Puerto Ricans are used to this. They go weeks, months without electricity because the electrical system over here called Luma is really messed up and corrupt. If you want more detail and information on how Luma runs and how Luma is so corrupt, I highly recommend Bianca. She has done a lot of research and she is very, very well known for putting information out there. Highly recommend to go check her channel out. But this video is only to make people aware that this happens on a regular basis. I'm born and raised in Puerto Rico, and I come here to work from home because I'm blessed to do so. But since I was little, over here in Levittown, people go without electricity at least for once a month. It is insane. I thought that was something that was normal. I learned as I grew up that that was not. We are part of the United States, and it sounds repetitive because I say it a lot. I've had experiences and multiple experiences when Americans do not know where Puerto Rico is. They literally think it's right next to Mexico, or they think that we are Mexico. And hey, I love my Mexicans, but we're Puerto Ricans. With that said, the United States is so controlled when it comes to education. Like, a lot of them do not know what's going on outside of their state. It is insane. And I just want to spread the information that you guys have a colony over here, hey, a territory that it's literally without electricity, like, a lot of the time. And Puerto Ricans pay one of the highest taxes in the whole US. And don't get me started on their minimum wage, because it is insane. Being a Puerto Rican is really fun, and it's the best thing in the world. And when I'm bored again, please God, make me Puerto Rican. But we live in resistance. We live in joy. And we live fighting, because every day is a damn hustle. I should be able to come home and have fun and work from here, because I have the right to do so. I have the right to be here. I have the right to have fun where I grew up in, being a U.S. territory. So when you see a Puerto Rican friend, give them a hug. If you see a Puerto Rican friend, blow them a kiss. Because you know what? They need it, baby. They need it.
Okay. Good Lord have mercy. I'm going to do it this way. So we're back. This is Club Star People. I want to again reiterate that this is not a show. I am using a StreamYard platform because I want to reach as many star people. This ain't for everybody, but it's definitely for star people. So if you consider yourself a star person, you are welcome to be a part of this. I see you, Dunbar. Oh, you can't hear me. Why can't you hear me? Oh, if you are a star person, I want to put you on. Are you here? So let me go back. Club Star People is a fitness, travel, and language club. That is what our design is. I am broadcasting wide. If you are a grown person who is interested in learning language, if you are a grown person who is interested in traveling as a community, if you are a grown person of a variety of melanations who is interested in, staying fit and looking well for these global travels that we're going to do, this is for you. We meet every Wednesdays here on all the socials, on Facebook Live, on YouTube, and Instagram. We not only meet. Why do I feel? Are you there, Dunbar?
Yes.
Okay, we do have people. Yes. Okay. So we meet.
CC.
We meet on Wednesdays for Spanish Club. We meet on Sundays again for what's called Sunday dinner. And the idea behind these things is that on Wednesdays, we are learning about culture. I'm bringing on guests. In some instances, I think like twice a month, we do Spanish practice, like Spanish Club Theater, I'm calling it, because we get these scenarios from Pimsleur and we practice our Spanish together, and we just make it fun. This is fun. This is only our third week, so I'm still learning my way. But again, this is not a show. This is a club for grown people. So saying all that to say, I would like to welcome our next guest, who I don't know how to make his like put a picture that has like a cartoon or something on it. I think he's gonna have to do that on his end. Do you want to be called Espanol, or can I call you by the name I know?
I am the most behind the scenes person.
I get it. I get it. And so I respect gangster.
And you are not. So I can be Espanol.
Okay, he's Espanol. So my friend Espanol, he's in the witness protection program. He's in the Club Star People protection program. But he's also a global traveler. And he also has mucho experience with Spanish, the language. So for this portion, I wanted to talk to Espanol a little bit about his travels. Didn't you just return from Spain?
Sí.
And where did you go?
Okay. I started in let me say it right, Barcelona, because in that part of Spain, they use a lisp.
Oh, yeah?
So if you look at the word and think Barcelona, and you go there, people will laugh at you
Oh,
because, and it will almost think that you're insulting them
oh,
because in that region, it's the Catalonian region. And
gotcha.
so they actually, for a time, wanted to secede from Spain.
Hmm.
And they say Barcelona.
Barcelona, like TH, like like TH instead of a C.
Yes.
Barcelona. Oh,
See,
okay.
see,
Interesting. And how long have you been a Spanish speaker? And would you consider
I,
fluent?
I, well, fluent enough
Gotcha.
because, like when I was there in Spain, they would ask me if they wanted me to, they wanted to, if I wanted them to speak in Spanish or English.
Mm-hmm.
So they knew that I was not native
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
speaking. They knew I was not from there, but they also knew that I could converse.
Gotcha. So you
And
are you better at understanding what other people are saying and responding, or are you better at? Because I'm better at reading.
that's a great question. At this point, it's been so long since I've read Spanish. I'm probably better at understanding
Mm-hmm,
when
mm-hmm.
somebody's speaking with me
Gotcha.
because things just come to me. And one of the most important things that I've learned is to not translate.
What does that mean?
That means if somebody's speaking to me and they say hola,
Mm-hmm,
the most important thing I learned is for me to not think, okay, what does hola mean
mm-hmm.
in English? Hola is just hola. And so once my brain makes the connection of hola in a different language, and I don't have to take the time to translate it, then that helps me keep up a lot faster with the conversation.
So, but does that come from understanding what "hola" means to you, or does that come
Yes.
from you just responding back? Because somebody say "hola" and you'd be like "hola," you know what I mean?
That
Like,
that comes from both. That comes from understanding and that comes from responding. That comes from interacting.
gotcha.
And the most important thing for me is interacting. So it's not even whether or not I get it fully right.
Mm-hmm,
It's just about interacting. And then a lot of times people are more forgiving than you would think.
mm-hmm.
They
That's
appreciate you making the effort.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's what. So, did you take Spanish in school? Like, how did
I
how?
did.
Okay, so and that
I
helped you in your childhood.
yes. I took Spanish in middle school. I took Spanish in high school
Mm-hmm.
every year, which was great. That gave me a great foundation. But two things really helped me.
Okay.
The first thing was traveling
Mm-hmm.
and traveling to Spanish speaking countries.
Okay.
Uh, and the second thing was being the translator.
Really?
So, in a group of people, when I would travel, I was the most proficient or most fluent
Okay.
in Spanish speaking.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody was speaking in Spanish to us or only knew how to speak Spanish, everybody would look at me and say, what are they saying? And I would have to figure it out. And I would have to respond to the point where on multiple trips, I lost my voice
Hmm.
because I was doing so much speaking for everyone else and translating at the same time. So I was translating from Spanish to English for the English only speakers. And then people were speaking in English to me, and and so I had to translate that to Spanish. So, in being the translator, uh, I had to come up with shortcuts because uh, these days, you can pull out your phone and you can look up words a lot more easily. You can use apps where you can speak and it will just type out the words. Back then, there was none of that, and it
Right.
was
Right. It was you, and remember Matt.
it was sink or swim. so,
I got you.
so you just kind of work it around. And one of the underestimated things about, and this applies to more than just Spanish, but really any language or any interaction, is, and they teach you this, so much of communication is nonverbal.
That part. That part. So just
And
being in the room and watching people's body language and
yes,
the vibe. Yes. Okay.
the facial expressions, the hand gestures, anything that you can use to communicate without words is going to be more easily understood than words. And that goes for two English speakers speaking to each other.
Yeah.
So it's easy to beat up on ourselves and say, oh, I don't know the exact word in this language. But the focus has to be on communicating, on just making sure that we find a way to understand each other. And it doesn't have to be words, it doesn't have to be the right word. It can just be the presence.
That's a very good point because and I think this ties into what Dr. Erica was saying about um, recognizing our own humanity and then also recognizing the humanity of others. I think that when we, and she was saying that a lot of Americans are looked at as not having good manners, and I think I think part of that is because just in this country particularly there's a struggle with our own humanity, so it's hard to see other people's humanity when you struggling with your own. So can we talk about, so you just got back from Barcelona.
Sorry, I didn't give you the list of all the places
Oh,
in
yeah,
Spain I just
that's what we're
returned from.
coming back around to. Yeah, thank you, that's what we're coming back around to.
Okay, so Barcelona, and
Barcelona.
then Madrid, which they do not use the lisp in Madrid. So they would say Barcelona.
Okay, and then the Barcelonians would be like, are you coming for me?
Right. Right.
Gotcha.
So Madrid is the capital. I can, since this is your show, I can comfortably say this, the colonial capital.
Yes.
So that is where the headquarters of all the colonization.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha. The headquarters of colonization. I need
and
to write this down.
you can see it by all of the architecture, all the statues, uh,
Gotcha.
the opulence. It's definitely uh, probably the most wealthy part of
Mm,
Spain,
mm.
uh, or one of the more wealthy parts for sure. And it's where the um, country basically launched forth and did what they did. So that's Madrid. And then I went to Valencia, which
Is there
is
a list?
Lisp. You got the Lisp because it's near Barcelona.
Gotcha.
Uh,
Valencia.
Valencia is along the coast, the east coast of Spain.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, all of those places I took trains.
Oh, okay.
The wonderful thing about Spain, and a lot of Europe qualifies as well, is you can get around very easily, very inexpensively on trains.
Okay. Where did
And
you fly into? Where did you find?
I flew into Barcelona.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then from Valencia, I took a ferry to Ibiza.
Ooh, okay. The warm weather has entered the chat. Okay, and what was that?
So actually, Ibiza is
Is that a list
directly, yeah, there's a list there too.
with a Z?
It's, yeah. I mean,
Think about H to everything.
listen, it's you err on the side of the lisp
Okay.
in that part of the country.
I'm writing that one down. Air on the side of the list.
So that is directly east of Valencia.
Okay.
And then from there, I flew, even though you can take an even shorter ferry, to Mallorca.
Okay.
And what I noticed in my I forgot something, sorry.
Yeah.
From Ibiza, there's a 30-minute ferry ride to an island called Formentera,
Okay.
which I'd never heard of. It's a
Okay.
very small island, beautiful island. It's also a Spanish island.
Okay. There are
So
melanated people on this island.
not a ton of people on this island, but a lot of people go vacation there.
I asked if there are melanated people.
Oh.
Melanated.
Not so many. However, when I was going to Mallorca, I immediately realized, there are definitely noticeably more melanated people here. I
Okay.
don't know why.
Okay.
It's a larger island than Ibiza. And I was thinking when I was there, I would love to come back here and explore that.
Okay.
So definitely noticed the melanation, and and it definitely seemed like, because in that part of the world, you're not that far from Africa.
Gotcha. Mhm.
And so the melanation was noticeable. It wasn't questionable.
Was it popping, as the young people say? Was the
Yes, it was.
melanation popping?
Melanation was popping.
Okay.
uh, so that was there. And then from there, I took a ferry back to Barcelona.
Mm-hmm.
And from Barcelona, I I took a separate side trip, but this is the Spanish part of the chat. So so once I got back to Barcelona again, I went to uh, Malaga.
Malaga. I've never heard of that. Where is that?
Malaga is in the south of Spain, near the Strait of Gibraltar.
Oh, okay.
And so there is a heavy Northern African influence.
I was going to ask about the Moorish. So was the architecture
Yes.
very, very Moorish?
Yes.
Wow. Oh my gosh, this is making me excited because that's my favorite. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And from there, I went to Granada,
Okay.
because when I went down to Malaga, I forgot to mention that when I went to Madrid, I saw a former coworker of mine.
Okay.
And in Malaga, a former coworker of mine was there. I met up with him there. And I said, I want to go see flamenco dancing.
Mhm.
Where can I go? And he said, well, actually, the flamenco dancing started in Granada.
I'm not surprised.
So
No
I
surprise
said,
people get, because Granada is very Afro-Caribbean, would we say?
well, are you talking about the island?
Yes. Are these
I'm
different?
talking about the city.
Oh, these are different places. These are my bad.
Yes,
These are different places. These are different places. Okay. I got
yes.
confused. I got excited and confused.
Right. So
Okay.
there's a city called Granada
Mm-hmm.
that is an hour and a half by train northeast of Malaga, in the
Okay.
mountains,
Okay.
in Las Montañas. And just a beautiful
All
fort.
Las Montañas, or you just tell
Yes.
okay. That's
Mountains is
mountains,
Montañas. Yes.
right? Okay. See, and I
Yes.
heard it.
You got it. See? I'm just going to sprinkle it in.
Yeah.
And there's a huge fort called Alhambra.
Mhm.
And a lot of these names were making me laugh because they are places in California are named after places from that area. So there's a city in the Los Angeles area named Alhambra, clearly after that fort in Granada.
Well, I'm gonna do some research on that because I feel like I feel like there's something there that we're missing.
Yes. And the reason why Granada was where the flamenco dancers did their thing, that's where that started, is because the origin of the flamenco dancing, as I learned, was that they did it in caves.
Really? Huh. Was that because of the lighting and the sound? of being able to.
You are brilliant. The sound really was augmented by the caves, so it made it acoustically favorable. So the
Wow.
singers' voices would carry better,
Yeah.
and I don't even know what you call it with the dancing, but as the feet hit the ground, or the planks that they would put on the ground, it would carry better.
And I'm thinking in terms of how the light from, if you're in a cave, there's probably a fire, and how the light would throw as you're doing these very particular moves. And then I'm thinking
Yes.
the acoustics and how, wow.
Yes. And I'll send you a video that I took when I went to the performance, and it was very moving to me.
Mm-hmm.
It did not sound like what you would think of as Spanish.
Okay.
Because it had that Northern African Moorish influence to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they were singing in Spanish, but I wasn't even sure.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really breathtaking. So I highly recommend for this group to visit Southern Spain.
Okay.
I think you'd have a much greater appreciation for the African influence in that region.
How
And
did you have to shift your Spanish around for these different places, or
just the lisp for the eastern part?
all the places that you would not even know you needed a lisp? I love this air, and the, what did you say? Air toward the lisp.
Air toward the lisp in those areas. And from there,
on the side of the lisp. I
yes.
love that.
And from there, my last destination was Sevilla. And Sevilla is a city to the northwest of Malaga.
Mm-hmm.
And that city was the launching point for all of the trade that came out of Spain. So yes, and not just Spain, Europe. So
no, hold on. All of the trade.
So the major hub was Sevilla.
Mm.
So they would take the ships down the river, and the river would go out into the sea, and that was near the Atlantic Ocean. So you had the Mediterranean, you had the Atlantic. So yes, that was a critical hub
My God.
for trade. So that was another very affluent area.
So now, in my mind, I'm hearing this was part of where they were human trafficking people.
Well,
that's what I heard.
They had a map there, and I'll have to find it. I think I took a picture of it. It was part of what was involved in the human trafficking. I don't know that the humans were being trafficked there, but it was part of the triangulation of the trade, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
One thing I left out, because I think that this group talks about food as well, is what I did not know before this visit is that Valencia is where paella was invented.
Oh yeah, I have a paella pot. I've never used it, but I have one.
Yes. So when I was there, I took my nephew, who's there playing on a club soccer team, to get some paella, and it was delicious.
It was. Have you had it outside of? Have you ever been to Spain before?
I have, and the first time I was in Spain, I was in Barcelona, and I went to a restaurant, and I said I'd like paella and sangria. So they said, "Sí, paella y sangria." I said, "Sí, paella y sangria," and they looked at me like I was a little loco.
And giant thing, and it's just you.
Exactly. So you can't order different sizes. It's one size fits all.
And did you take the whole thing home? Did you just give me the pot?
No, because the people around me at the other tables were laughing.
Aww.
So I took that as a challenge.
Oh, sorry.
And being the American that I am, I consumed the entire pot of paella, drank the entire pitcher of sangria, and then when I finished, looked around.
And then people were like, they had
And
the gate. They were like,
and they had to look the other way.
how did you do it? Did you? Oh my God. Wow. Well, you didn't need to eat for another week. You're good.
Hey, I have a bottomless pit for a stomach. And I can be a little stubborn and rise to the challenge.
That's that Leo. That's that Leo. That's
that combination.
That's that Leo. He said challenge.
Right.
I love it. Okay. So, what other places? Because Spain feels to me that what is it? Castaneja? I know I'm not saying it right.
Castellanos.
The kind of Spanish that they speak.
Oh,
Castilian.
Yeah.
But it's not an L; it's a J.
Castilian. I don't know. I'm not familiar.
So
with the distinction.
Well, you gave part of it, the lisp. I don't know if that's Pimsleur.
Yes.
Pimsleur also. This is not an ad. This is just what I'm using. So calm down. So Pimsleur differentiates between Mexican Spanish and Spain Spanish.
Yes. Well, yes, because there are different accents no matter what country you go to, and there are different words. So I learned this time, and I don't know why I didn't notice this before, but the word for bathroom in Spain is aseo.
Aseo. Mm-hmm.
ASEO. And so if you saw a sign, it would say aseos.
Mm-hmm.
But in Mexico, it's baño.
Baño, right. And I knew that. Yay!
All right.
Good.
Yeah, so there are different words, but there's difference between English in the US and English in the UK. So it's a similar sort of thing. There are different accents between the UK and the US and different words. Same thing. I wouldn't be worried about being understood in no matter where you are in any Spanish speaking country, no matter what version you learn.
Okay.
And I have traveled, let me see if I can remember all the Spanish speaking countries I've traveled to. Mexico, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Costa Rica,
Mm-hmm.
Panama,
Mm-hmm.
Venezuela,
Chile.
Chile.
Colombia.
See? No, that's
Okay.
that's been on my list. It's high on my list. Ecuador.
Okay.
Peru.
Mm-hmm.
Argentina.
Mm-hmm. Argentina. I'm starting to learn how to articulate the G. Argentina.
Yes. See. And I think that's it. I've not been to Paraguay.
Okay. Or Uruguay. Paraguay
or Uruguay. That is correct. Or Uruguay. And I've not been to Colombia. Did I say Venezuela?
You did.
Okay. Now here's why I'm saying it again. I said before that there were, a couple things to be able to get more proficient more quickly, to be able to be a translator is huge. Go to a Spanish speaking country and to be able to translate for others, helpful. Another thing, it's optional. I'm not saying you got to do it. Date somebody who is a native speaker.
It's optional, but it's an option. It's optional, but it's an option. Find you a boo and can speak Spanish more fluently. That's interesting. Okay.
And so I dated a Venezolana,
Okay.
and you're much more motivated when you're dating,
That's
I've
true.
found, to find a way to communicate.
Okay.
And you're motivated to learn the language more. And it was the same for both of us. So we could communicate better. And that is when I learned something that was really probably most helpful in my journey, which was I started listening to Spanish radio stations.
Okay. Okay.
Now, could I understand most of it? No. But it got me much better at the cadence.
Mm-hmm.
It got me much better at picking up words
Mm-hmm.
and phrases. And most importantly of all, it got me much more proficient in that I didn't have time to translate.
Mm-hmm. So you
I
weren't
had to start
thinking
thinking.
as a Spanish speaker
Yes,
versus trying to be an English speaker trying to speak Spanish.
yes. So the first step is translating. And the goal, in my opinion, is to get to thinking.
Mhm.
Like, I know someone who grew up in Montreal
Mhm.
as a French speaker,
Mhm.
and they moved to the US and been in the US for a long time. And I brought a friend to meet them who's from Montreal.
Okay.
And I figured that they'd have a great old time conversing in French. And I learned that my friend, who had been in the US for so long, could barely speak French.
Wow. Which is like me. I can understand it and I can read it, but because I have not been practicing speaking it, garbage.
But this is a native speaker I'm talking about. This is
Oh,
somebody who was born and raised in Montreal, but moved to the US. And
so
that
you saying that the
friend,
US makes us dumb? Is that what you're saying?
not at all, not at all. And that friend who visited from Montreal and started learning English more and more, started saying the same thing, which is the less that you regularly think, speak in a language, the more you start to lose that, even if you are a native speaker. So
Wow.
it's very important to immerse yourself. That's why they talk about immersion,
Yeah.
and make it so there's no alternative. Because my friend let me know, I'm starting to dream in English.
Mhm.
And that's like when I started listening to the Spanish radio and having all these conversations exclusively in Spanish, that's when I started thinking, and I had dreams in Spanish. Um, and it would confuse me sometimes even to see the English word because I just started knowing words as the Spanish word.
Wow. Okay. So you're basically, I'm not a brain scientist, but you're basically making new connections in your brain.
Yes. Yes.
And so, like Dr. Erica was also saying, she watches on Netflix, she watches Spanish shows in Spanish with the English subtitles. And you're adding to this, listen to Spanish radio. So you're basically creating an immersion environment where your brain can hear the language more and more. And your brain is a computer, so it'll figure out what's happening or it won't.
And I would take the Netflix example a step further
Hmm.
and turn off the subtitles.
Okay. Okay. So then you're not translating. You're just
Right. Exactly. So, I mean, you could watch the movie with the subtitles and then watch it again without the subtitles and see what you pick up on. Because subtitles can be used as a crutch.
Mhm.
Because I could be watching a scene and not really listening to the Spanish I could just be reading the words.
Just be reading. That's me. I'm reading. I am a reader. So I'm a reader and I'm a writer. So I think in terms of the physical manifestation of things.
And to take it, to take that a step further, sorry, you could even put on, like, we have closed caption. You could put on the Spanish words at the bottom of the screen.
Oh, that's a good idea. So now I'm listening to it and I'm reading it. If I want to read it, I'm reading it in the language that it's in. So now I'm not, so I have to turn off the translation.
There's no English, right?
There's no English. There's no knowing. But isn't that how speakers of other languages learn English, by watching and listening to English things?
Exactly. Yes.
And there weren't subtitles back in the day. I've known people who learn English just by watching TV, and there's no subtitles.
And there were no subtitles for their language. They just had to listen to the English words and figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the ultimate goal.
This is so interesting. These tips, these pointers have just been very, very, very powerful and just very helpful. So is there any way that we in this club who are practicing with Pimsleur, is there any way that in 5 months' time we will be able to understand what Bad Bunny is saying?
Oh, totally. Oh, easily. If you do this every day, absolutely.
Okay. And is there any way in 5 months' time that we will be, I've taken off fluent off of the thing, but at least confident in when we go on our trips to be able to speak, to be from a confidence.
Yeah. I mean, because if you do this daily, you're going to get more and more confident. People will help you because they know that you're trying. And let me go back to the Bad Bunny thing, because this is an important thing to understand. And I think it's best to understand it in a way that we can relate to, which is the African American experience. So if you took somebody from another country, like Mexico, and they learned English, they could go speak English and do okay in the US. Take them down to the hood. Have them talk to Bruh Man. They might not understand Bruh Man too well, because Bruh Man be like, and hey, and you know what I'm saying? It's like, well, where's the words? What? Whereas for us, we know, oh, you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
Or like it's just like there's different things.
But you're making a point, because AAVE, African American Vernacular English, is its own language. So we're talking about two different. It seems like it's just English. No, it's its own. It's its own dialect. It has its own words. It has its own cadence. It's another version of English, in the same way that it's not even a good analogy, British English versus American English. AAVE is its own language. I'm just leaving it there. So I get what you're saying. If he learned American English, learning AAVE would be different thing.
Yes. And so what I'm saying is Bad Bunny might be using all kinds of slang. And especially for what he's going to do, he might intentionally try to use some sort of slang that people might not understand unless they really know. So I would not be hard on myself if I'm like, wait, what is that he just said? I don't know those words. And maybe it's just something that they say around the way.
Yes, I've been intentional about finding people that talk about different ways of saying things outside of what Pimsleur does, because even though I feel like Pimsleur does a good job, this is not an ad. I feel like Pimsleur does a good job in what is it? Vosnamos.
Vosotros? Is that what?
How you say goodbye, but not adios. It's like see you later. It's either
Buenas noches.
it's either nos vamos or I think it's nos vamos. I'm not saying it correctly. But there are lots of ways to say the same thing. Like que pasa is everybody don't say that. They're different. Just like in English, like some people say what's up, some people say hi, some say how you doing, some people are like, hey girl. There are lots of different ways to say the same thing, and in Spanish it's so different. We learn in these apps, we learn these very stringent things like you would in school, but that's not how people talk.
Right. Yes. So you might not understand all of Bad Bunny, but there might be some very specific things that he's saying, and he might not want everybody to understand.
That part. Okay. So do you have any more pointers that you would like to leave us with?
Yes.
Club down.
Yes. When I started, flashcards were really helpful for me.
Oh, really? Do they still make flashcards?
No, I made flashcards.
Oh, you made them? Oh, just like the regular old school 3x5 card flashcards?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. This is good.
That was one of the biggest heartbreaks that I ever had. Was I was in Acapulco with friends, and I had my flashcards by the pool, and I went to the room and I came back and they were gone.
Ooh,
so
jacked them, or
somebody jacked my flashcards. Yes. Those were really helpful in me just pounding words into my brain. So then another tip is don't worry too much about the tense.
Tense, like past tense,
like
tense, that kind of stuff.
That and the different verb tenses like I, you, informal, you, formal, we, they, and like you said, past, future. If you get the verb right, people understand what you're trying to say.
Okay. Because they'll be familiar with the word. It doesn't have to be.
Right.
Just don't order paella and sangria.
You have a better chance of finishing the sangria than the paella.
Except for you somehow. I don't know. I'm still like I am in awe. I am reverent. I need to go back. What kind of paella did you get? I need to ask. Was it chicken? Was it beef? Was it?
It was a seafood paella.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you just it was a whole table thing, and you were
yes,
like,
it was.
Yes,
it was. Yes, it
and
was. So
Leah,
those are tips.
you do not say no to any challenge. I'm getting
That's correct.
all of it.
That is correct. So don't worry about the tenses. Don't worry about being formal. And don't worry about not figuring out the right word.
I love that when you brought into the field to use your body language, and
Yes.
a lot of cultures outside of this one that actually embodies their language with their hands.
Yes.
So to be able to really lean into that is powerful. So
yes.
I'm saying like orange. It's orange.
Yes. Absolutely.
Very cool. Thank you so much, Espanol. Prayerfully, you'll come back and give us some more pointers some other time. I really feel like I was in school, like I was in class.
All right.
Very, very nourishing and enriching. And thank you so much.
Thanks for inviting me. Would love to come back. And I spoke way less Spanish than I thought I would, but it was because I wanted for everyone to understand these tips, and then we can sprinkle in more words as we go.
Next time, more Spanish. And we'll probably be ready for more prepared for that anyway. And we have to find you a character. I'm gonna have one of my make you a character so that you can so when this thing is pulsing, it's a person, not just like a black screen.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm just reminding y'all, this is Club Star People. If you would like to join Club Star People because you are a mostly melanated human who is in a big age, you are grown, and you want to learn some new things, our premier season is we're learning Spanish. And we are traveling to Spanish-speaking places. And we are staying fit so that we look good when we travel to all these Spanish-speaking places. And there's some other elements, and you can learn more about it if you go to patreon.com/EnvyMcKee. That is patreon.com/EnvyMcKee, patreon.com/EnvyMcKee. I would ask you, Espanol, if you wanted to be known, but I know that you don't because you were literally, you said, I am the most... behind the scenes person. But this is cool because this is giving me, you know how on TV shows you have that one neighbor who you never see their face? Like this is giving that. I love it. So we're gonna thank you to Espanol. He said he's coming back, so that means maybe next month.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna go. And I think that's all the business. Have a fabulous. Why don't you tell us how to say goodbye in a way that they would in Spain?
Adios.
They just say adios. They don't say nothing else.
No.
Just adios.
See,
it's so underwhelming.
Basic. It's and everywhere I walked in, it was hola. So it doesn't have to be complicated.
Hola and adios. No, how do you say good evening? Buenas noches. Now, what I did learn that I love is I learned that buenas noches and buenas tardes are both feminine, and buenos dias is masculine. I learned that.
Yes, and people will correct you. I was actually in a Dominican restaurant earlier this week and ordered something, and I used the wrong article.
Ooh.
And I said la quipe, and they said el quipe. I said,
ooh.
Oh, gracias.
Ooh. But I love that. I love and that's the reverence. I don't want to use humble in this. I don't want to use humble because I feel like we use humble in the wrong ways. But I love reverence, having reverence for other people's stuff, other people's languages and how they want to hear it spoken. I think that's powerful.
Yes, and I won't forget it.
All right, we're gonna end this again. Thank you to Espanol. That's your name. I'm gonna call you. You should be Señor Español. Señor.
That's fine. Yeah.
Señor Español for being here and teaching us these good things. And remember, I do not yet know what we are making for a Sunday dinner, but I will post it at some point. You'll know when you get there. And also remember, we're here every Wednesday from 6 to 8 Eastern for Spanish Club, where we either practice Spanish or we learn something new about Spanish. We learn some cultural things about Spanish, all the things. And on Sunday for Sunday dinner, where we prepare in real time, Julia Child style, a traditional dish from the Afro-Latinidad diaspora. So thank you again, Señor Español, and thank you to all of you who stayed and joined this Club Star People experience. If you want to join, EnvyMcKeeShow.com, patreon.com/EnvyMcKee. It is free 99. Okay, bye. I wanted a Spanish club, so I'm making a Spanish club. And I want to learn about Afro-Puerto Rican culture. I want to learn about bamba. I want to learn about salsa. I want to go to Puerto Rico. I want to go to the Dominican Republic. I want to go to all the places, and I want to be fluent in Spanish. And so if you want to be fluent in Spanish, this is the club for you. There'll be elements that you have to do yourself. Like I said, I'm using Pimsleur. You can use Pimsleur. If you don't want to use Pimsleur, you can use whatever you want, because I'm not over your shoulder helping you practice. I like Pimsleur because it's 30 minutes a day. And this is not an ad. It's 30 minutes a day, 30 days in a month. And then you finish Spanish 1. And then we move on to Spanish 2. So in 4 months' time, we'll be ready for Bad Bunny. In 5 months' time, we'll be ready for Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. Again, the next element of this is working out. If you don't want to work out, you don't have to work out. But I personally want to look and feel my best for these trips that we're going on in 2026 to all these Spanish-speaking places. And I want to look great for the cameras and all the things. So I'm working out. Again, you can go to patreon.com, MV McKee, and you can read about Club Star People. And all the things that I talked about in this video are highlighted in a physical document that you can read at your leisure.